this talk now. It's his third time hearing it today and a few others. So, should we jump in?
Please.
Okay. To begin with, a couple things. I think I might stay here in San Francisco. I just talked to my wife, and she said it's going to be 30 below in Chicago.
Oh, dear. It's only going to be 65, so you might need to.
Well, I said, well, I'm looking at the sunset, and it's 75 here, and she said, you suck. I've got 3 kids in the car, they're crying, and it's 30 below. Get home.
I can't even imagine.
So I promise this is the last time some of you will have to hear this talk. But it's also a great time for me because we have in our midst Gordy Sharafinsky, who runs the Sacred Art Schools here in San Francisco. And Gordy's really the reason I am in this room, amongst many other reasons. But he was my first boss. When I graduated from the University of Wisconsin, he and I designed the Alumni Service Corps at Marquette High School, which now is in its 18th year, 19th year, somewhere around there. And over 50 volunteers have taught at Marquette High since then. And I heard one statistic, I don't know if it's true or not, but the school claims that over half have stayed in education. So it's pretty,
So now everybody's going to go to his school.
His kids don't need a job. So briefly, I'm just going to spend the next 60 minutes or so talking.
She chose on her.
Everybody's like, oh. The next couple minutes talking about the national education landscape, where we fit in. A quick video on 60 minutes, and then turn it over to Father Foley, and we'll have you out of here, promise, by 7. So nationally, education is in a state of crisis, and it drives me nuts as I travel around the country that people aren't standing on the rooftops screaming. The healthcare debate, people were. They're going nuts over that, and that's minuscule compared to what education is happening, especially in urban America. Some of the statistics that stick out for me, today if you go to a college campus and you find a Hispanic student, that student has a 1 in 10 chance of graduating. 12% of freshmen on Hispanic students on college campuses are going to graduate. 12%. Those are the guys that made it, or the young girls that made it to college. They have a 12% chance of graduating in 5 years. An African-American male in most urban cities, especially in Chicago, has a better chance at 25 of being incarcerated than of having a college degree. This is a crisis our nation is facing. McKinsey did a study that said that the education crisis is going to make the recession we're in right now the good old days. That we must focus on this. And to me, it's just not getting the attention. Hopefully in the President's State of the Union, he will begin to shift some attention to that. They've invested a ton of money, but we need a lot more commitment in urban education. And Cristo Rey is a bit of hope. We aren't the answer. We will say right up front, we are not the answer, but we're a part of the answer. And we don't even know why we're getting the success we're getting. We're studying it, we're looking at it, but we can tell you from the National Student Clearinghouse, which is the only definitive third-party database on student enrollment in college, that of our class of 2008, which was our first big push, we had 10 schools sending kids to college, 85% or more of those graduates have enrolled in college. More than twice the average for the population we serve. 85%. And of those 85%, over 80% matriculated into their sophomore year. If they went to a 4-year private institution, 90% chance they retained for their sophomore year. And if they went to one of our partner universities, like USF and Santa Clara, 97% chance that they matriculated. In a sense, 2 kids didn't matriculate. They went to a partner university. There's no, even when I met with Father Rey today at Santa Clara, he got a little upset because his freshman to sophomore retention rate is only 92. And I said, we're 97. And look at the kids we're serving, and they're doing better than your kids. And so these kids can learn. It's not about the kids, it's about the adults. And that's what Cristo Rey is changing. We're saying in all of our schools across the country, and Lisa's working with a lot of our principals, if the kids aren't getting the grades, if they aren't learning, if they aren't hitting the benchmarks, it's not their fault. It's your fault, teacher. It's your fault, school. These kids can do it, and we're going to figure out how to do it even better. So we're in 24 schools, 6,500 students. We're working with over 1,000 corporate partners. And I think the greatest statistic of all is that this year the students will generate over $30 million to support their education. $30 million. That's more than the Gates and Kasson Foundations gave us to start this movement 10 years ago. And I've said this all day today, but it's great. BJ Kasson, who I was with this week, Took 22 companies public, a venture capitalist, made a fortune in business, said the best investment he ever made was Cristo Rey. Because he gave us $12 million and every year he's doubling his money. And he said, this is just great. He said, it's also going to help him get into heaven. But he said, don't stop the growing, because there are so many more kids that deserve a lottery ticket. They need that chance. They got the chance. And so we're at 24 schools, 6,500 kids. Our vision in 10 years will be 50 schools, 25,000 kids who otherwise would not have a chance to an education like they're getting here at ICA. So with that, turn it over to Elizabeth for a quick segment of 60 minutes.